Hey everybody, welcome back to the Shimi podcast. It's me, your clearly favorite host. All the people in the comment section are always crying for me. "Hey, when am I getting that guy?" I'm here, guys. So nothing to worry about. It's me, and I'm back with a lovely guest over here. Who's a not very long time, but still a long time friend of mine, and we saw each other for the first time yesterday. So let me give her the chance to introduce herself because I might underhype her.
That's a bit much. But anyway, hi everyone. My name is Annette. And yeah, my name is Annette.
Okay. Okay. It's not her first time being on camera, but like you can tell that she's a little bit shy, that she's regretting a little bit being here. But we've got a lot of interesting things to talk about. But before we get into that, let's find out more about Annette. Annette can sing. Annette can sing. Annette, it was like very, very talented. Very talented. Annette, tell us more about your singing and your music and how did you get into singing? How did you wake up one day and just realize like, hey, I've got the voice of an angel?
That's a lot. But yeah, I sing. I make music, which has been really cool. I've been making music for like maybe 2 years now,
Oh
like
yeah?
properly, like for Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple Music, all of that. But no, I I like back in the day I couldn't
Yeah.
sing.
Okay.
And then I just used to sing.
Uh-huh.
Like I just used to sing. And then one day it was like, oh wow, I'm not that bad. Right?
Okay.
So I started singing, performing at school
Mm-hmm.
and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very passionate about music. I think I'm quite musical.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It comes natural to me. So yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. And tell the people what genre of music you do.
Um my primary genre is actually Christian music.
Ooh.
I'm a Christian.
Oh, that's Christian.
It's very important.
Very, very important.
But yeah, I mean, in the mix, sometimes it would be like live music. It's not okay, just live music. It's not bad things. I'm not talking about bums and all the rest. Just, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. We and so some people like bums. Some
Some
people some
people like
people
bums. I
some
don't
people some people
judge.
don't like bums. But we don't judge. We don't judge here. What finally gave you the push into saying, let me start recording music. Let me start posting this online. Let me start what finally pushed you over the edge to get into that?
Um, so I got into uni and then I started singing again because I joined the church.
Yeah.
So I started singing again and I was like, wow, this is really cool. But in the church, I met someone who was into the music stuff as well, and we got into like writing songs, and that's how I got into songwriting.
Okay.
And it was like you're not just writing songs for nothing; like you need to get them heard. So yeah, said like the production thing, like producing them properly,
Yeah.
and then started releasing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was about to ask about songwriting because I feel like that's a really hard thing to do. Like as a musician, I know for some people it just comes easy. Give them a paper, give them a pen, give them like a melody, in their ears, and they'll just be writing and writing and writing and writing. In 10 minutes, you got a banger. All of a sudden you've got everything. So what is it like going from like, hey, I sing other people's songs, to be like, now I write my own. How is that? How are your first couple of songs that you wrote? Like, what do you remember about them?
Honestly, songwriting is very difficult. Like I even today, I'm obviously better at it, but like I
Yeah.
find it very difficult. Um, I mean, I sat in a lot of sessions with my friends where they would write songs, and I was like, okay, so this is how it works.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. For me personally, like I would listen to a beat, like a beat, and then I would come up with a melody in my head. Then I'll start fitting in the words somehow. They just have to parangashate
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works for me.
Okay.
It doesn't just come naturally like that. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like if I gave you dead silence, a piece of paper and a pen, it wouldn't work out.
No.
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 There has to be like
It has
a
to be,
you
I need
need the
inspiration.
melody to hold your hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's great,
Yeah.
because like writing, because I can just imagine, like, imagine you're trying to tell a story that you're like, this people know this story. People know what I'm talking about. But like, how do I make it sound different? How do I make this sound like relatable and make it sound nice? But at the same time, I don't want to use simple ways to portray it. Like, you don't want to say like, I was feeling pain while I was in the rain, and I feel like I'm going insane. Like, it's. I feel like that's like a really, really big from my perspective, as someone who doesn't write songs anymore.
So
Uh,
you've written before. How did you used to do it?
ish. For me, um, well, I used to be a rapper,
Yeah.
and you know, in hindsight, I wasn't a very good rapper, but it was. I think what used to help me was like what I'm trying to talk about, and then I would try to find a way to, like, swap out the words and mix up the sentences and do whatever, just so that I can make things make sense and kind of rhyme at the same time. But I think one of the biggest problems that I had was like rhythm, right? Because I think that's a good reason to have the melody kind of hold your hand,
Yeah.
because then like you'll be writing and like a cappella, you'll be like, oh man, this guy's amazing, right? And then you give him a beat and it's just like, it feels like he's rapping, like he's doing the equivalent of dancing with two left feet, but with rapping, or but
Yeah.
with singing,
That's bad.
and that's bad. That's really bad.
Like last.
It's embarrassing. Like all of a sudden, like you give this guy a beat, and he's like, "Oh, freestyling is hard, guys. Freestyling." Someone just like on the spot start coming up with words. It really isn't easy. So that's why I was just like, you know what? Maybe this rap thing isn't for me, and I started doing spoken word poetry. But that's a story for another
Another
day. We're here to talk
day.
about Annette, guys, and it's her. You're my guest. I'm here on this podcast every so often, and like, I'm sure the people are tired of hearing about me. I think they just like the guests that I bring. That's why they're always they're always wanting me back, guys. I hear you. I honestly do hear you that like I am the best, or at least one of the best. Top two. I'm top two host on the Shimi. So, and we will get back into, like, who's top. Ish, man, I don't know. Ish, I don't know, man. Maybe Chanda. Maybe Chanda. So yeah, man.
The kids.
Yeah, hey man, it's not all of us can be 35 years old like you. Not all of us can be 35. Mapalo is constantly aging. Just right now he's almost 40. In how many days? Send Mapalo some help, guys. And by help, okay. So
17
in
days.
17 days, guys, probably not 17 when this comes out, but like send Mapalo some help, guys. He needs it. He needs some help and some love. Mapalo needs a lot of love. No, you don't. Mapalo, I've seen your friends. I've seen your friends. You could.
Friends like these.
Who needs enemies? Yeah. So today's topic is well, I don't know how to describe this. If you relate, it's like it's a little bit of a fun episode, and like, there are a lot of moments which should be funny and whatever. But if you don't relate, you just be wondering like, how can these people be talking about these things like this?
Like this.
Isn't this a serious topic? And what we're talking about today is being an orphan. Because despite knowing each other for a long time, I recently found out that Annette is an orphan, not a full orphan, just a half orphan. you know. So,
Just half of it.
sorry, before I continue, I found out that was, I didn't know that half orphan was a thing, right?
I thought it was just orphan.
Me too.
Yeah.
I really thought it was just orphan, but apparently, there was something else that I was applying for school not so long ago. Actually, it was a long time ago. But like, it was like, hey, we provide support for orphans and half orphans. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
I've been telling people I'm an orphan my whole life. Man, I should go back and tell people I'm a half orphan, not a
you
full
should be
one.
saying, yeah,
Yeah, you know.
half
So
of it.
so yesterday, right? Um Annette and Mapalo and Jabu were recording a session, a live session for Annette, you know, because she's a superstar,
Because
a
I'm a
rock star.
sinner.
And we're talking. I don't know how we're talking about it, but like we ended up talking about blood types, and I was telling everyone about how my blood type is O negative, and how my dad's blood type was O negative. So Annette asked like was, and I was like yeah, because you know you did, and she was like my dad's dead too.
Same.
and like we bonded over the fact that like our fathers are no longer with us, you know, and it really got us thinking to be like, losing a parent is kind of, you know, it's a traumatic experience. Even though all the orphans you find crack a lot of dark humor jokes, it really is a traumatic experience. And it just tell us a little bit about your father.
About my dad.
Yeah, about your dad.
Okay. Um, my dad was really cool. He was a very nice person.
Yeah.
Very stern, of course, but like honestly speaking, he was my best friend. Like we have or had
What's the next word? I don't know.
a lot in common. So I mean, it was pretty cool, like to have him around.
Okay.
Um, I don't know, like what am I supposed to tell you about him? Like
Oh no, that's
occupation.
okay. That's
That's
okay.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's all right. When did your dad pass away? As in, I know, but they don't know.
Oh, in 2020,
Okay. What happened? Was it COVID?
it wasn't COVID.
Okay. Okay.
It was actually much worse.
Oh, okay. So was it cancer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You know, and from like 2020 up until now, it's been like 4 years, right? It's been 4 years
It's been
since
4 years.
2020.
Imagine.
Ish. Anyway, so since that time, so let's start from like it's around the time that he died, and then we'll move as to how you've progressed and like how you've been dealing with the fact that he's no longer here with you over like the past 4 years. So let's start with 2020. How are things in 2020 from the time that you found out like, oh, my dad is dead, throughout the rest of the year?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2020 was interesting. Actually, I'll start from 2019
Yeah.
because that's when we found out my dad was sick, right?
Yeah.
Um, I was still in school at the time, like doing A levels. So it was weird to like have my parents away because he was getting treated in South Africa.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But I mean, I was at school. I was distracted.
Yeah.
It was okay-ish. And then I graduated and I went home and it was COVID and my parents were in South Africa.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where like they were just there for like 6 months because they couldn't fly back. You know?
Oh yeah, because of COVID.
Yeah, they couldn't fly back. So I mean, I was just at home
Yeah.
with my sister. I don't think my brother was around. With my sister. And you know, I was just living life. Like, yeah, my parents are away, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
And then I was doing driving school at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I did my test. And then I failed my test. Okay.
I can relate. Go on.
And then the next day my dad died. Okay. I was telling my father this today, which is very funny. Yeah. So I actually got the news from a friend,
Yeah.
which is very bad. Guys, like honestly, when someone dies, like just chill. Like let it rest.
Right.
Like my mom didn't even call me.
Hey.
But my friend was the one who was telling me, you know what I mean? So I was like, what are you saying sorry for? Like, what do you mean you're so sorry?
Hey, what do you mean sorry for your loss?
Right?
I haven't lost anything.
Like, what do you
I haven't
mean?
lost anything.
Yeah, I just saw the message and I went to shower. And then I came back. And then my mom called me. And then she told me. And then, then I called my brother.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, it's crazy. And then he was like, yo, it's crazy. And then, yeah. Then, yeah, I was alone at home at the time. So
Okay.
then, like, my mom was in South Africa.
Yeah.
Keep this in mind.
Yeah.
And then people started showing up. I also don't like African funerals.
Okay.
because it doesn't make sense. So people
Okay.
started showing up. You know that cry that ladies do, like
Yeah,
for
yeah,
forcing.
yeah. I know that one. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you've entered the house, you've
Like
started
you'll be
wailing. Like,
like
bro, you went crying outside the gate.
not even just that. They start crying for like, you know, it's no. It's different because like there's crying where like someone was not crying outside the gate, the internet start crying. There's crying where but just like or like this, everybody's chilling. And then the moment when they walk out the door, someone's just like, and I'm just like, bro, we were
Bro.
just talking
And it's
right
for the
now.
sound as well. Like there's no tears.
Yes.
There's no
There's no
tears.
tears. There's no tears. You know?
Anyway, so people started showing up and it was still COVID. So
Yeah.
like my parents couldn't still fly back.
Oh yeah.
So it was just like a funeral for like a whole month. Like I'm going out with my friends, cool. But at home, when I go home,
Yeah.
like there's women in the sitting room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
Like it was
wild.
Jade.
That's wild.
Trauma. But
Yeah.
anyway,
That's big. That's big trauma.
um,
That's big trauma, guys.
eventually,
Eventually.
eventually, my parents flew back.
Okay. Your parent.
My parent and my dad in a box.
Okay. Yeah.
My dad in a box
uh-huh.
flew back,
Yeah.
and we had all the proceedings. And I said,
Okay.
you know what? It's finally happening. Like this can finally end, and maybe things will go back to normal.
Yeah.
But no, that wasn't necessarily true. Um, ever since then, I mean, I feel like I've managed
Yeah.
in a way. I also think that no one really talks about how much you have to like come through for the other parent.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No one really talks about
No one
that.
really talks about that
Yeah.
because I felt like I was in a place where I really had to come through for my mom. Like I couldn't be crying in my room all day,
Yeah.
because my mom just lost her life partner,
The love of her life,
right?
man. The literal love of her life.
So I was, I was there. I was being a good sport, not crying,
Yeah.
and yeah. And then life was moving. Before you know it, you're going away, like you're
Yeah.
going to uni, and things just happen. I mean, it's obviously very different. Like there's an obvious absence in the crib.
Yeah. Obviously.
And we're all just dealing in our own way. It's still very weird now. But I feel like it doesn't necessarily get better. You just get used to the idea of that. Like you're just used, like, he's not about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that was 2020.
That was
2019, 2020, right?
Yeah.
So over like 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, you were in school for a little bit of that time, and you were very far away from home. How did that feel for you? Like on days maybe like Father's Day or like your dad's birthday or the memorial, because you're all the way that side and like your family is this side, and then they get to come together and do the memorial and whatever. How are your thoughts about like how's my mother? Is my mom okay? Are my siblings okay? Like what were your experiences with that?
I mean, I think I experienced like a bit of FOMO.
Okay.
It was interesting to be away. I don't know. I honestly at that time there was just a lot of change going on like in my life. So like your dad dies and then you still have to go to school. Like there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do.
And then we're also moving house at the time. So it was like, and I grew up in the house. Like everything I know about my dad is in that house.
Yeah.
Like, so it was just like, wow, like I'm missing the moving. Like I've gone from my old house. When I come back, I'm not going
You're
to
not going
there.
back there.
Like I'm not going back.
That's not your house anymore.
Huh?
It's not
So
your house. Go on.
um, it was okay. I feel like distractions helped. Like obviously being away, you're doing your own thing.
Yeah.
It was hard sometimes because I feel like losing like a dad
Yeah.
there's a level of decisiveness that you lose just in your life. Like things just become
Things become
like I don't know what
disorganized.
I'm doing.
I
Like I
don't, I
don't
don't
know
know what
what to
I'm doing. You know,
do.
like this man was he was a little bit of a compass in my life.
You
You
know?
know, he'd be like, hey, dad, I don't know what to do. And he's like, hey, like he's the one who'll be like, he won't tell you what to do, but like he'll kind of like point you and be like, you know, there's this direction and then there's this direction, you know, and like he'll kind of show you and move you towards like things that you could do. Yeah, so it's crazy, man. Fathers are important, guys.
They are.
Fathers are very important. If you know an orphan, give them a hug today, guys. Someone who's lost their dad, give them a big hug.
Send them some money,
Send them
please.
some money. Send them some money. Anyway, continue.
um
Distractions, you know, the
yeah,
fact that you
distractions it helped and
yeah.
stuff. I mean, I stayed close to my family.
Okay.
At the point it got a bit too much, which is why like I even came home eventually. But you know, you you get through it as a unit somehow. It's hard to say because again, my family were not very expressive. So it's like, oh, I'm feeling so sad about that today. I'm not going to say that. Oh, dad used to do this. Maybe we can say, okay, yeah, dad used to do this. Cool. But we don't talk about it. And maybe that's one thing you should do with your families. Like,
Yeah.
you talk about it. Like, get to see where everyone is. So, in fact, maybe I'll go home today.
Go home today and
And,
just
and
like you know how we do it in my family. We bond over um like good moments that we had with dad, and also like the bad moments where like dad was shouting and whatever, and like those are things that we laugh about now, to be like, hey, you know, like I'm sure if dad was here, you know,
yeah.
maybe like you come home late and you're like, ish, man, if dad was here and I came home at this time, he wouldn't be having any of this, you know. And like it's moments like that where like maybe your sibling brings up a time where it's like, oh, I remember this time when I did this and dad was like so pissed and whatever and yada 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 and all those kinds of things, whatever. But like, you know, you bring up those moments and it kind of, even though at the time you were like, why is this man doing this? I'm just like an hour late, you know. But then like when you come back and then you sit and you talk about these things with like your family members and like your brothers and your sisters and all those kind of things, you'd be like, yeah, that was a funny moment, and that was like, you know, like I missed that,
Yeah.
you know, and it's it's crazy, you know, honestly. It's like people don't talk about how crazy losing a parent is, because like parents, moms and dads really become like the pivots of our lives. You know, there's a lot of things just like where you just be stuck and you be like, let me go and ask mom and dad, you know. And like for most people, you get that through like for some people it's like, think about like when you need money, you always go and ask like your parents, right?
Yeah.
They're your first people to go and ask. But like it goes beyond that, because like when you're broke, when you're stuck, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, when you don't know what to do, when you need a little bit of guidance in life, we all go to our parents to be like, what am I gonna do now? You know,
Yeah.
what should I do? And like what you said even about like how you had to be there for your mom, because your mom essentially lost the love of her life,
Like,
you know,
bro.
like, hey, I raised kids with this man and he's not here, you know. And it gets a little bit tough. The other day I was hearing a story about how like this woman had lost her husband, and she, like, the husband was like the breadwinner of the house, right? she told she told sorry he told The husband told his wife, stop working, I'll take care of you. Stop, it's all right.
Huh?
Husband died. She had
Eh.
kids. She had like a really small baby at home, and like mentally and emotionally she couldn't take it. She bounced.
I mean, as in she did.
She bounced.
As in,
She went. Apparently, she went to go and stay with she went to go and stay with like a friend of hers in the US, and she left her kids with their grandma. You know, she was gone for like a month. You know, maybe even two. You know, she just bounced like, I can't do this. I
like,
need some time to put myself together before I come. I just can't come and start doing all of this all of a sudden. I don't know what to do. Me, like, you know, like, I don't know if you've seen those memes where, or like those reels where it's like, Me, anytime I'm around my husband or my boyfriend, I just turn off my brain. Her brain had been off for way too long,
For way too long.
you know? And
Yeah.
like for all of a sudden, for you to be like shocked back into like your brain being on, you need some time to adjust.
You
So
need some time.
I definitely understand. It's not easy. And I've spoken to friends who've gone through similar things, you know, who've lost their, especially dads.
Yeah.
They've lost their dads, and you really have to console your mother, especially if you're a firstborn, or maybe if you're in the role of firstborn because maybe the firstborn is not in the house, then you really have to be like, to take up the role of a parent. And if you're in school during that time, yo, you have to juggle school, you have to juggle home, you have to juggle your own grief at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really tricky. And you know, it's a really sad experience. It's a really sad experience. Are we okay? Are we okay behind the camera? Okay. It's a really sad experience. And you know, you have days where things hit a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's just like, just you'll be sitting minding your own business, everything's going to be okay. And then you remember you don't have a dad.
Like for real. For real, guys.
Just like you busy, you just be okay. Everything will be fine. I just be like, my dad is dead.
Right? Like they're just not here. Like they've just gone. For
Oh, he's not
real.
here anymore. Damn. You know, and it will mess you up. You know, like that would be like a bad day or a bad week
Yeah.
or like a bad period of time. You know, and it's not cool. Other days that are really bad are like Father's Day, Mother's Day, you know, your dad's birthday, and just like, "Ish, man, you know, especially like maybe if at the time when your dad died, maybe you were just starting like being an adult and everything. And then you look at how like maybe some of your friends take care of their parents. You'd be like, oh, my dad's birthday, bought my dad like a watch and whatever. And then you're like, man, I wish I had the money at that time, or I wish
To
my dad
do all
was still
that.
here. Because now I can do that. But like I've got all this love and I don't know where to take it. You know, the person who was supposed to get this love is not here anymore. You know, and it's other times when you have like maybe events, right? So maybe let's say like a graduation, or maybe let's say someone in the family is getting married, or just you know big events like that, or maybe
Big
it's someone else's
events.
birthday, and just thinking about like, hey, if this person was here, you know, they would have done this, you know, they would have said something silly, they would have cracked a joke, they would have, you know, made a big deal over like you know the food taking long to come on, all those kinds of things, right? And in times like that, like it gets really hard because you know you're trying to enjoy this special event, and you're just like, but I really wish that like you know my dad or my mom was here so we could enjoy this event together.
Yeah.
And in times like that, you know, sometimes the advice that I give people, because I'm the self-proclaimed leader of of the orphan gang. You know, I have no parents, not even one. You know, so
How, I was going to ask, like, how's that been for you?
Hold up, before he answers the question,
Yeah.
we have to go on a break because time.
okay, great. So, guys, we have to go on a break. We will be back soon, and I will answer Annette's question. Peace.
One.
This episode of the Shimi podcast is sponsored by none other than Fitumbua. Fitumbua is readily available from anywhere on the street. You can get it from your local Wambuya. You can get it from your auntie who sells on the corner. It's Fitumbua, guys. What's there not to love about it? Annette, do you like Fitumbua?
Love them.
You love them?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, look at this one. It's nice, it's shiny, it doesn't look too oily, you know, and like I feel like it's sweet. Man, Mapalo, do you like Vitumbua?
I love it.
You love Vitumbua?
Yes.
Man, come and get this Vitumbua. It's yours.
I just want a little more.
Vitumbua, it's been putting the smiles on people's faces for a long time. It's probably been like hundreds and thousands of years from the time the first person, Fitum, decided to fry some Vitumbua.
Just go ahead.
If you want a smile on your face, guys, go out and get a Vitumbua. And maybe you can be as happy as Mapalo.
I'm smiling right now.
He's smiling right now behind the camera. Mapalo, drink something, please. Don't joke on your Vitumbua. Once again, this episode of the Shimi podcast is sponsored by Fitumbua. And we are back. Where were we before we left off? I think you're asking me how it's been
I was asking you how it's been being a fool of
being a full orphan. My mom died when I was 5 years old.
okay.
Or before I turned five, but that year I was turning five. And like from that point up until like when my dad died, that's a very big can of worms. That's a lot of tea to spill. But I did become a double orphan in 2022, so about 2 years ago. My dad died, and it was it was hard. At the time I was in school, I was in Russia, and I had known for some time, like, yo, my dad was sick, and like so many people had been showing up to see my dad. People were coming from the village, people were coming from like whatever. I had some of my cousins who were staying out of town, like far, far, far away from Lokwa, who were coming to see him and everything. And I was like, you know, um, at the back of my head, I was like, dad has been sick before. He always makes it. That's a really strong man. And we'd crack jokes about like, dad would die into the Grim Reaper, like, what are you doing here? It's not my time. Can you go back? And I found out the news. It was pretty late in the night where I was. I think it was maybe 020 something. My brother just called me and told me like, hey man, he's gone. And it was quite sad. I almost couldn't believe it. Like, this man isn't here anymore. At the
Yeah.
back of my head, I was always like, I'm going to go home when I'm like after I graduate, and I'll find this man there waiting for me, right? And that's always what I thought. So we what did we do? We had the funeral, and I came back home for the funeral, and it was so surreal, to show up like to the house where I've lived, because I've lived in the same house like for the longest time. That's why I've got all my memories. That's why I've got all my things. To show up to the house, and like there were so many people around. And that for me was a little bit overwhelming. Like, I didn't know how to settle down, how to like be comfortable in my own house, where to put my things down, where to do whatever. I was like, I don't know what to do, right? So eventually, I was able to settle down after the funeral. People left and everything and all that, and that's when the realization started sinking in to be like, hey, this man is not here.
Yeah.
I'm in his house, this house where I've grown up, where I've heard him calling my name hundreds of times, and like he's not here anymore. We buried him, he's gone. And like it took a little bit of time to sink in, like the feeling was there and everything, but it took a little bit of time to sink in. Because I remember he passed away like towards the beginning of the year, like somewhere in February. And I think it was his birthday, which is in December, which was a little bit hard, right? Because that's when like it clicked to be like, oh snap, this guy is not here.
Yeah.
That's when like some of the feelings really, really started coming into play, and like that was a really hard day for me. Then I think the next event that had me feeling really bad was, I think, my graduation. Because my dad was really big on school, right? Guys, study, make sure, typical fathers, right? Make sure you study, make sure you do whatever, make sure you pass. Always talking about, hey, I used to pass number one and whatever, whatever, whatever. I want you guys to do the same. And I I really wanted, like that congratulations or whatever from my dad, but like I couldn't get that from him. Like it wasn't possible for me to be able to get that from him again. Even when I came back after I graduated, and we still stay in the same house. Show up in the house, and like it's like me getting used to, and now I'm here all the time. That time it was a funeral. I was around for 2 weeks. I left, I went back to school. Um, and school had become home for me, because like that's where I had been living. But now that I'm back, I live in the house, and this is the house where I grew up, and dad was here, and it took a little bit of time to get used to that, to adjust the fact of like, oh, he's not here. And even some of the you have certain, maybe let's say, behaviors or tendencies that you have because maybe when your dad was around, you used to do things a certain way, and you wouldn't do certain things. You're like, oh, if I do that, that would be upset, right? And a lot of those things started coming back, despite the fact that he wasn't there. Sometimes I'll be like, am I late to go home? Is it okay for me to go home this time?
Yeah.
One of those things to be like, but I feel like I should be home now, like things like that, like should I? Sometimes it'd be like my dad was someone who was like, you guys should, you should be busy, you should be doing things, whatever. Like sometimes I'll sit and I'll be like, is it okay for me to sleep for this long? Is someone going to come and shout at me to be like, hey, why are you still sleeping? Why aren't you doing anything? There were moments and things like that that used to make me feel um, you know, that just made me feel bad. But then eventually, I got used to it, right? And some of like the experience that I've had throughout this period of like my dad not being here anymore, and even the extra experience of like not having a mom for the longest time, is you have moments like that. You have moments when you get really sad and that you miss them, and that they're not there. They can't be with you for these big events and all that. But there is no one on this planet who knows the relationship that you and your parent had. You know that relationship the best. So when you want to do certain things, maybe like let's say, for example, or when you're in certain situations, sorry, despite them not being here, you can still live your life in a way that they would be proud, because that if you maybe let's say accomplished something, or or you crossed a big milestone, or you did something that was outside of your comfort zone, you definitely like, if I went and I told my dad this, or if I went and I told my mom this, they would be really proud of me, right? And um I didn't know my mom very much because I was really young when she passed away, but like you can see, and like you can kind of see the reflections of what she would have wanted from the people who did know her. So even if you didn't know your parent, maybe you didn't know your mom, you didn't know your dad, but you know people who know them, you can see the reflections of your parent in those people, and that's what helps you to kind of make that thing to say, hey, if I did this, definitely my dad will be proud of me. And it's hard, being an orphan, double orphan, it's tough, man. Sometimes you go and you see people posting their files and be like, man, these niggas really got parents.
New pictures, fresh pictures.
Fresh
Me,
picture.
I'm posting pictures
I'm
from
posting pictures from years ago,
right.
years, just like, man, it's damn, and like, I think maybe a day that's, I think, like I mentioned earlier, some days that are hard are like Father's Day, Mother's Day, and like, people post those things for like, hey, um, posting for
For the people who've lost their
people who've lost their fathers, for fathers with no kids, for mothers who play the role of fathers, whatever, yada yada. And like sometimes I'm just like, I don't want this. Me, I want a dad.
Really?
I don't want this. Me, I want a mom. No, no, and like, it's very considerate because most people who post those things are people who have both parents. So personally, um, if you're trying to maybe let's say make an impact in the life of someone who has no parent, like on that day, just like, like if you know them, they're your friend like that, just go and talk to them and just be like, hey man, how you holding up? How are things going today? Are you all right?
Yeah.
For some people it's just like, oh, I'm okay, but for some people it's like, they're feeling it and they're keeping it inside. If you are someone with no parents who knows someone with no parents, just go, hey man, sucks to be us today, right?
Yeah.
Sucks to be us today, right? No, no, no mother, no father. I've got a friend. Actually, I've got two friends. One friend, because I think Mother's Day comes a little bit earlier in the year, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got one friend who when Mother's Day came around, because she's lost her mom, I had written down something for her, like, hey, happy Orphan Day, whatever, whatever, yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. And she had posted it on her status. And then I think one of our mutual friends had seen it. And then they were like, this is cute, this is sweet. Even me, I went, and I was like, wait your turn. Father's Day is coming. Father's Day is coming.
Yeah.
Your turn is coming. Don't worry, don't worry. It's coming. Don't feel left out. Go and tell your mom you
Yeah,
love her.
about. Yeah,
Go and
about.
tell your mom that go tell your mom that you love her. Your friend does no mom to say that to. You go worry about your mom. When Father's Day comes and you're sad, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So try and be there, especially like as an orphan, be there for your fellow orphan friends.
It goes a long way.
It goes a long way. And the people who have two parents, guys are lucky. If you are listening to this right now, pause, go and tell your parents that you love them. I'm sick, go, pause, but come back.
But for real, come
Go
back.
and tell, because we're not done. Go tell your parents that you love them and then come back. So, um, so yeah, I think that's definitely been the meat and potatoes of like, orphan life,
Being an orphan.
of being an orphan. So let's just have a moment of silence. Let's have a moment of silence. You know, just okay. Moment's done.
Before you start thinking too much.
Yeah, you can start thinking
You
too
can go
much.
far.
The mentor, because it's trauma. That's big. That's big. Like all of us a little bit have got like some mental problems, but you're just like, this is nothing worth going to therapy for. And you lose a person, you're like, I definitely need
You
therapy.
need therapy.
I
It's true.
definitely need therapy. I need someone to talk to about some of these things. Someone who's going to help me and do whatever. And like, because sometimes it's overwhelming. Like I said earlier, when you have those moments where you just remember, like, hey, me, I don't have a dad, or me, I don't have a mom. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes it's overwhelming, and like you don't know what to do. So therapy can kind of help you to learn how to deal with those feelings and to deal with those emotions. And one of the most beautiful sayings that I've heard about like losing someone is that one from WandaVision, the series. For what is love? What is grief but love persevering?
Love persevere.
Man, that was just like, that one is great, because you have all this love that you want to give somebody, but you just have
It doesn't. There's nowhere for it to
there's
go.
nowhere for it to go. Nowhere for it to go. It's so sad, but you know, was your dad a big fan of music?
Of music,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he really, really liked music. He had a very good music taste.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, he didn't sing, he didn't play any instruments. I definitely didn't get that from him.
Okay.
But he knew music.
Okay.
And yeah, we bonded over that like a lot.
Okay. Sorry. Annette says that she knows how to play the violin. But before we get into her playing the violin, how did you get into playing the violin?
School,
Oh yeah.
like high school, my first year of high school, there was clubs, so I joined orchestra. So I was given.
What school is this?
I won't disclose.
What? Where you?
But
Orchestra club? I thought a music club. I was like, yeah, I know about music, but orchestra. Did you have an orchestra club and a music club?
no.
They were the same thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
just orchestra.
Okay.
Because orchestra is like violins,
Yeah.
viola, cello,
Okay.
double bass.
Okay. Why did you pick the violin?
I was just handed it.
Or they just gave you?
Yeah, they just gave me. So I was like,
here's a violin. Okay.
and I was wowed. So I just continued.
You just continued it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still play?
I play once in a while,
Once in a while?
not as often as I would like to.
Okay.
But yeah,
How would you rate your violin skills?
I mean, I could be better.
Okay.
Definitely, I
if you
feel like
practiced more.
yeah, if I practice more.
Uh-huh.
But I did the thing like I did exams, ABRSM. If anyone knows what those are, It's just exams, like music exams for like instruments, and it goes up in grades. It's out of 8, and
What grade are you?
I got up to grade 5. So
Oh, okay. That's great. That's more than half.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Do you have you incorporated any like violin playing into
There's actually some in my song
Okay.
that was just singing before this.
Oh,
Just
okay.
a bit though.
Okay.
But yeah, I did play
Okay.
in it.
Great.
Definitely in the future more. We'll
Oh,
see.
please, more. We need more. We
More.
need more violin people. Sorry, I know we kind of took a little bit of like a smooth segue out of the orphan stuff, but like yeah, that's all. Too much orphan stuff, and then the rest of this podcast will just be us crying, and you guys don't want that, you know.
Yeah.
So we've segued back into music, you know. So when did your latest song come out?
What was my latest song? I think God's Peace.
Okay,
It was some months ago.
some months ago.
Yeah.
What's stopping you from releasing music more often?
Well, I'm working on a huge project right
Okay,
now.
ooh, you heard it here first, guys.
I'm working on a huge project. Well, I'm working on an album, okay,
An album.
and I'm working on an EP as well alone.
Ooh.
So I mean, it takes time.
Oh yeah, it takes time.
It
Definitely.
takes time. Like I can't just continue dropping singles for the
No,
rest of my life. You know what I mean?
You can't.
So that's that.
Okay. Next question is what have you been have you collaborated with anybody?
I have one song with someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone we know?
No, he's just a friend who also got into this music thing.
Okay, from school?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I have a song with him.
Would you like to do more collaboration?
Of course. I mean, I'm always open to ideas.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of collaborations. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Mapolo, do you think a song and Annette and Emmanuel song would slap, right?
It was that.
Yeah, I think you know Emmanuel.
Which Emmanuel?
Open mic.
Oh, the icon Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Of
No,
course.
no, not that way. I could Emmanuel. There's another Emmanuel. Emmanuel.
I'm stuck on you and not letting go.
I don't know who that is.
Fraction.
Oh, the light skinned guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
He is light
Emmanuel's
skinned.
pretty light, yeah.
Oh, I know him. I remember him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be cool as well.
Yeah, you see, that guy he's really talented. You should listen to his songs. You know, I feel like also Annette and Young Boss. That would also
Who's Young Boss?
Young Busy. Man, describe Young Boss for.
Young Boss is our intro.
to the
Okay, yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, that's
He's
Young
one
Boss.
who
Young
made.
Boss released that song.
Okay.
So that's a song by Young Boss called different with a friend of ours, Apollo Twin.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'll put you on. I already put on to Legend Sun.
Oh yeah,
I put on Legend Sun.
yeah.
So now Young Boss and who else?
And
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, yeah, and
So you
Emmanuel.
have 3 more artists that we're putting you on to.
Yeah. So
Thanks,
those
guys.
are some really good artists who I'd recommend, like to get into the space a little bit more, I think Emmanuel was featured on Emmanuel was featured on, I think, who was it? Cleo's album?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's
Bombshell.
Bombshells,
he?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Really?
on Bombshell's album, yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
like 2
As in-
songs.
On like 2 songs, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's definitely a really good artist, and I think you guys together would make a lot of magic, So so how is the preparation on like your EP and the album? How's that been coming along?
I mean, it's okay. I gave myself a challenge because I was like, I have a producer and stuff, and that's cool. But I produce a little,
Yeah.
so I was like, you know what? Let me do it myself. Like, from beginning to end, cover art, everything. I want to release something like that, and see how it does. So, yeah, it's been cool. Most of the songs, I've done like 3 songs. It's out of 5 anyway.
Okay, yeah.
They're like freestyles, which I freestyle when I'm singing in the moment, like I'm just feeling it in the moment. So yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah.
I just need to make the remaining 2 songs, and then
It's always the
I'm
last.
featuring on the last song.
and then it will be out.
It's always the last 2 songs which are the hardest.
Yeah.
Always the last 2 songs. Do you so in your typical like writing process, do you write first and then make the title of the song, or do you do title first and then song?
Ish. I feel like that's just dependent on the song itself.
Okay.
Because I've had situations where like I've had a title and then I've made the song around
Around
that.
the title.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, you have lyrics and you just title it whatever
Just
you
like,
want.
but what word did I say a lot in this song?
Yeah.
I think love me like you, yeah, love me like you do. That's the title of the song, you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Biggest challenges that you faced so far?
Music making,
Yeah, music making,
drums.
drums.
I really struggle with drums for some reason.
Okay.
Like everyone thinks my drums are just weird. So I need to get better at drums. Mastering and mixing.
Those words bring headaches.
Yeah. Those are probably the biggest things. Like they're quite hard.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Just don't be too hard on yourself about mixing and mastering, because like those are hard.
Yeah.
Mixing and mastering, you really have to be a you have to know something.
Like you have to know.
You really
You
like
can't pretend.
you can't pretend how to know how to mix and master. You know, like if we've got like audio geeks who are listening to this, they understand mixing and mastering. Because I remember someone described like mixing to be like, mixing is just making the song sound the way how you want to sound, like the way you want to sound. But then it's also like frequency separation and yada yada yada, and like make sure the sounds aren't clashing and your low end isn't muddy and your whatever isn't this, and make sure your the reverb on your voice isn't overpowering the whatever's of the other. Oh man,
It's a lot.
it's a lot. It's
It is
honestly
a
a
lot.
lot. Yeah, and honestly, big round of applause to you for
Thank
like
you.
trying to do everything yourself, because that's really hard.
It's pressure.
It's
Then I release,
pressure.
then someone
And then
says that
someone comes to point that it's not sounding
it's not even
professional.
sounding like
It's not even sounding professional. It sounds like she did everything herself.
yeah.
It sounds like she did everything herself. Okay. I haven't seen like any of the cover arts for your songs. Yeah, maybe I have, but like they've just gone. But like, what goes into making like a cover art?
Canva.
Uh
Canva.
huh.
You get inspiration.
Okay.
You find a template, maybe,
Okay.
just put your name
Okay.
and your song. Not much.
Not much. Eh?
Not much.
Okay. Have you ever considered outsourcing?
Like commissions.
Not really commission. Just like asking
I've asked,
maybe.
but people are for commissions.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Honestly, I'm an advocate for it. Like, don't do free work.
Don't do free work.
Don't do free work.
Yeah.
Like,
But like these people be asking for a lot.
I mean, most people I know will be charging in pounds, dollars. So it's like, Anyway, I found graphic designers in Kipe, so
Yeah, there's my palo here.
this Papalo.
Yeah,
So why am I even panicking?
Even me, I'm a graphic designer.
Even
Yeah.
all of you guys.
All of
So
us.
I'm
All of us.
good.
You're struggling with
Panic. This is my part.
you're struggling with beats. Even me, I'm also a producer.
Yeah, about.
Just go on the violin, just do a little bit of before you know it, you've got a beat. You send me vocals of you singing. I'm selling you vocals back of you rapping. How did I do it? I don't know. I'm a wizard. Turn you into a rapper. But no, that's great. I think
I think we're blind writing.
send me though.
We're blind writing.
Oh, okay. My phone is over there.
We're 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, sure. Ish, man, we've talked. Okay, yeah, it's been an hour. We've been talking for an hour.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's Annette usually does most of her talking as when singing. So
No, she
she's
doesn't. She talks a lot.
she's
I don't talk a lot.
Auntie,
Ish.
why you
Sorry.
lying to the people? Why are you lying to the people, Auntie?
It's just sometimes.
Okay.
okay.
You feel bad,
So
classically trained.
how many minutes did you say we have left?
5.
5 minutes. Ish. Okay, so We're going to do a blind ranking of music artists. Where would you put? And it's 1 to 5. You only have 5 slots.
1 to 5.
Okay, yeah. Where are you putting Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
3.
3. Okay.
I actually had to think about like her vocals recently.
Okay. Sia.
Yeesh. Okay, that's difficult now because Sia is better than Lady Gaga. Okay, I just have to put us 2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay. Olivia Rodrigo.
5.
5.
5.
Shakira.
Oh my gosh, 4.
That leaves your number 1 spot as Zayn Malik. So your number 1 is Zayn Malik, number 2 is Sia, number 3 is Lady Gaga, number 4 is Shakira, number 5 is Olivia Rodrigo. Are you happy with
I'll probably switch Zayn and Sia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Should we give her a switch? Should we give her a swap?
Just give another one.
Another one, eh? Okay, let's do another one. Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars?
Yeah.
Wow. I think I'll give him 1.
1?
Bruno Mars is probably like the greatest artist of all time.
Okay, Bruno Mars 1.
That's huge praise.
That's huge
Who do
praise.
you think is the greatest artist
You know?
of all time?
Okay.
No, we're talking about like what he's done like in life. He's like just research Bruno Mars.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Jay-Z.
5.
Hot take. Eh? Zayn Malik.
4.
Okay. Post Malone.
2.
2. Okay, and that leaves your number 3 as Eminem.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. So we got
That's not a bad ranking.
So we got Bruno Mars, Post Malone, Eminem, Zayn Malik, and Jay-Z. Okay, so you're okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Switch. Give her the vote.
Oh, then I'm a blind rank.
Yeah, man.
Eee.
Yeah, man. Blind
Cool.
How does this work?
So they're like buttons
Yeah.
at the bottom. So if I say like right now it says Ed Sheeran, right? So if I say I'm putting Ed Sheeran at 2, then you press 2, then you put him here and you give another artist.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, just I think I put Ed Sheeran at 2, man. Ed Sheeran's a cool guy. Yeah, man. I was looking at like a performance of his, and like he was talking about like, hey, nothing I'm doing here is live. You see me pressing, nothing you see me doing here is recorded. I'm pressing a thing here, that's for looping. So I'm going to go jam on my guitar a little bit, whatever, it loops. I let go, and that keeps looping, so I can keep layering and whatever. This performance you're hearing is 1 of 1. You will never hear this again. And I was like,
It will never be the same
that's
again.
crazy. That's number. So I'm giving him number 2 because he's too much of a add-on.
Okay, Rihanna.
Rihanna can be number 3. I wouldn't put her above Ed Sheeran.
Okay. Halsey. Do you know her?
Halsey? What's the spelling for that?
Yeah, that song.
It's just me. Oh, Halsey. Okay.
It's Halsey?
Yeah, I think it's Halsey, yeah. She can go to number 4. I'm looking for someone good for number 1, man.
Shakira.
So now I've got 2 left.
Yeah.
So now it's just like, do I put Shakira at number 5 and then let the universe tell me who number 1 is? Yeah, you know what? Put Shakira at number 5. Let's see who the universe tells me number 1 is.
Oh,
is
Nicki
it?
Minaj. Nicki Minaj.
The universe hates you, man.
I don't. That's not bad. It could have given me someone way worse.
Yeah, cool.
It could have given me Ice Spice, man.
Ice Spice? You don't like her?
No, she's alright, but like above Ed Sheeran, nah, never. You know.
Right. So Nicki Minaj, Ed Sheeran.
Let's do another one. Maybe I can be lucky.
We have 50 seconds.
Oh, ish. Do we sign out?
Okay, let's go break, do one more, then we cut.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay, and we are back. Ish, I don't think I told the people that were leaving, were we?
No.
Anyway. Oh yeah. Anyway, let's do another blind ranking for me.
Okay. Taylor Swift.
Guys,
Taylor Swift is hard, man, but I put her at 4.
She's had.
Taylor Swift is hard, man.
Okay, Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. That can go number 1. Because I'm let me like, because I know I'll find the number 2. But I think he can be at number one. Bruno Mars is hard for you.
Post Malone.
Post Malone? Post Malone can go to three.
Nicki Minaj.
Let's put her at five. Who's number two?
Katy Perry. Katy Perry.
Katy Perry's okay, man. Yeah, hot in your cold, yes and you know, you're in and you're out, you're down.
You're wrong when it's right. You're black when it's white.
Oh, ah, man, I know what song I'm playing in the car when I'm leaving. When I'm leaving here. What do you think about that? Do you think Katy Perry is a nice number two? What would you change if you had these things? You get one change.
I would put Taylor Swift last. No, I'd actually
Yes.
put Taylor Swift
Thank
last.
you. Thank you. If
Like,
there was six, she would be sixth.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to this episode of the Shimi podcast. Thank you, Annette, for being here with us. And
Thank you for
just
having
just
me.
plug the people, your social media, your music, your whatever. Just let them know.
Instagram, annette.nm. You can follow me on Instagram. My YouTube. I don't know what my YouTube is called. Annette, I think. Just Annette. I know the music on my Spotify is under Annette as well.
So basically, just go to her Instagram, and you'll find all the links in her bio in case you're a little bit confused.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll also
You're right.
we'll also include links in the description of this video. Mapalo, you've heard.
Yes.
We'll include links in the description of this video. So once again, guys, thanks for watching. It's been great having you on it. And guys, if you want more guests, if you have suggestions for who you'd like to have on the podcast, just leave it in the comments below and we'll see if we can make it happen. If you want to be on the podcast, leave a comment and maybe we can make it happen. So otherwise, see you guys next time and later.